So good to see you as well, my brother. So good to see you as well. Good morning to you all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Peace and blessings to you all. What's going on? What's going on? I appreciate that, beloved. I appreciate that. What's up, Becky? So good to see you. Tracy's in the building. Let's go, Tracy. Green Buoyant, what's going on? So good to see you all. Happy Friday to you all. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. Peace and blessings to you all. Peace and blessings to you all. Lynetta, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. So good to see you. What's up, Tam? So good to see you. Do me a favor real quick, you guys. Share the live to your stories if you could. Share the live to your stories real quick. I appreciate it. Prashan, what's going on? So good to see you. So good to see you all. Happy Friday to you all. Happy Friday to you all. Peace and blessings to you all. What's going on? What's going on? Mindset Masters family is in the building. This thing, I appreciate that, beloved. What's up, Dej? I appreciate that. I appreciate. Thank you. Thank you. So good to see you all. Again, real quick, you guys, do me a favor, share the live. No, you're welcome. You're welcome, this thing. You're welcome. You're welcome, beloved. You're welcome. You guys do me a favor and share the live to your stories real quick. We got to get the medicine out. Let's get the lights up so we can get the medicine out. Yeah, come join the family, Miss Thing. Come join the family. You're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. Like, it's a family and it's a movement for real. I'm talking about, woo, it's bigger than me. It's way bigger than me. It is bigger than me. I did my job. My job was to get it built. I did exactly what God told me to build it. I didn't know what I was doing when I started, but I just started. And it's taken on a life of its own. So it's a beautiful thing to see how powerful everyone is becoming. What's up, Gina? So good to see you. Thank you for sharing the live, Gina. Thank you for that, beloved. Prashan, thank you so much for that. Beloved, thank you, thank you. That's it, Sefe. That's the goal. That's the goal, family. That's the goal. That's the goal. That's the goal. That's why we are here. That is the goal, period. There is no other goal. You want to know what the purpose of your life is? That's the purpose. You know, the goal is, earth is supposed to be a reflection of heaven. That's why we're here. That's why your spirit came. Your spirit didn't come to chase people. Your spirit didn't come to chase relationships. Your spirit didn't come to chase likes and shares on social media. Your spirit doesn't give a damn about any of that. Your spirit doesn't care about Ferraris and Lamborghinis. Your spirit doesn't care about Chanel bags and Birkin bags. Your spirit came for one reason and one reason only: to carry out God's will, to carry out God's mission on this earth, period. Because it's out of control. That's why God sent you, because this whole planet is out of control. And if you don't see that, I don't know what you are pretending not to see. That's why you were created. That's why you are here. We got work to do. And we got work to do. Bottom line. That's why you're here. You want to know what your purpose in life is? That's your purpose in life. Your purpose in life is not to shine on other people. Your purpose in life is not to project your pain onto other people. Your purpose in life is not to get a bunch of people to try to follow you. Your purpose in life is to impart God's will here on this planet, because it's out of control. All of it is out of control. Everything is out of control. Everything is out of order. Everything is out of balance. And if you don't see that right now, then you don't need to be seeing. That's why you're here. That's why we came. You didn't come for any other reason. You didn't come for your relationship. That's why it's stressing you out, because it's not your purpose. You had nothing to do with your purpose. You didn't come for the job. You didn't come so that you can go and let me amass all of this money so I could just put it somewhere and still be stressed the hell out. Let me go and get all these cars so that I can park them in my garage and still be stressed the hell out. Let me go get all of these clothes so that I can impress a bunch of people that don't matter anyways and be stressed the hell out and never discover what my purpose was. Never discover the mission. Never discover myself. The only thing I discovered was a relationship. The only thing I discovered was pain. The only thing I discovered was people that were abusing me and manipulating me. Why? Because I was out of alignment with my purpose. I was out of alignment with the mission. That's where all of the drama comes from. When you are in alignment with your purpose and mission in life, there is no drama, there is no chaos, there is no pain. If you got pain and suffering in your life, it's because you haven't stepped into your purpose yet. It's because you still think you need people. You still playing the people game. You still looking for somebody to validate you, somebody to believe in you, somebody to chase you, somebody to place you on some pedestal and tell you how special you are and how much they need you. You still playing that game. The day you step in alignment with why God created you, it's game over. We are here to turn this earth so that it can become a reflection of heaven. That's the whole mission. That's why we're here. That's why your spirit came. Well, what's the problem? Your ego got involved. Your ego been in the way this whole time. That's the problem. See, you don't understand that it's you versus you. Because you can't start working on your purpose. You can't start working on your mission in life until you slay the dragon that's in you. You got a dragon that's in you that needs to be slayed. Your enemies outside of you are not the problem. Stop wasting your time on that. You need to work on the thing that's keeping you disconnected from love. You need to work on the thing that's keeping you disconnected from happiness. You need to work on the version of yourself that has convinced you that you need other people. You need to work on the version of yourself that has convinced you that you need people to clap for you. You need to work on the version of yourself that is chasing love, even though love is what you are. You need to work on that version of you first. And once you master all of those versions of you, when we dismantle all of that, you're going to step into your divinity. You're going to remember why you're here, like I am. We need to get rid of some versions of you, like the version of you that ignored the red flags, the version of you that convinced you to show up small, the version of you that convinced you couldn't be happy without this person, the version of you that convinced you that love can only come from outside of you, the version of you that convinced you that you weren't complete, the version of you that convinced you that you weren't enough. We need to get rid of those versions of you first. Then we can start talking about all the other stuff. You don't understand it. Demon that the dragon that you're fighting is within. All of your problems are internal. You don't have external problems. You only have internal problems. And what we do is we take our internal problems and we project that onto the external. And that's why you think your problems exist outside of you. No, all of your problems come from within and you project them without. And the way you see the world is the biggest problem you have. That's the number one problem. Tara, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. That's the only battle we have, Brit Pack, and it's low key. It's a beautiful thing, you know. If we just being honest, it's actually a beautiful thing. It's really a beautiful thing when you understand it. If you don't understand it, then I'm speaking a foreign language to you right now. Through self-awareness. Self-awareness is what's up, D? Self-awareness is the only way to find it. And that's the reason why I created the community that I created it, so that it would give you a safe space so that you can go and come and discover what your purpose actually is, you know, and you can become fully unlocked and fully unleashed. What's up, Thomas? So good to see you, family. No, you're not late, beloved. You're not late. You're not late. You're not late to anything. All right, do me a favor again, real quick, you guys. Do me a favor. Well, you are the purpose. That's purpose number one. Purpose number one is for you to understand that you are the purpose, but you haven't discovered that version of yourself yet. Let me explain something to you. The version of you that God created is fearless. The version of you that God created is powerful. The version of you that God created can impact nations. The version of you that God created can impact an entire generation. The version of you that God created can alchemize any situation. The version of you that God created can take any negative thing and transform it into something positive. The version of you that God created is emotionally bulletproof. The version of you that God created is unconditional love, which is the strongest force in the universe. The version of you that God created needs nothing. The version of you that God created never dies because it was never born. The version of you that God created is eternal. That's what I need you to understand. So the first thing that we have to do is help you to discover your purpose, but your purpose is to discover yourself. When you discover yourself, you're going to understand that you are the human manifestation of abundance. You are the human manifestation of belief. You are the human manifestation of unconditional love. You are the human manifestation of fearlessness. You are the human manifestation of confidence. You are the human manifestation of growth. That's what you got to understand. If you haven't gotten to that place yet, I don't even want to talk to you about what the second purpose is if I don't get you to the first one. How do I do that? It starts with you operating from your authenticity, where you no longer wear the masks, where you no longer show up small, where you no longer shrink in the moment, where you no longer walk around thinking thoughts, but you're too afraid to say what you want to say because you are terrified of losing this person. That version of you, God did not create. That version of you, man created. Man influenced your life. Got you to show up small, got you to shrink in the moment, got you to think you need other people to complete you, got you to think that love could exist outside of you, got you to think that your happiness comes from some other place other than from you, right? Your happiness comes from you being in alignment with God, period. Doesn't come from your Rolls Royces, doesn't come from your high-rise apartments, doesn't come from your Chanel or Coach bags. Happiness comes from you being in alignment in God. Everything comes from you being in alignment with Him. Depression comes when you're out of alignment with Him. Anxiety comes when you're out of alignment with Him. Fear comes when you're out of alignment with Him. Every single emotion that you have is there to let you know when you are disconnected from your Father, period. And He built these systems in you so that you would never get lost. The same way your check engine light in your car. You got the check engine light in your car for what? What's the purpose? To let you know when there's a problem coming. That's what your emotions are. They're your check engine lights. And anytime they come, they're letting you know that there's a problem. You've forgotten who you are. You've lost your way. You disconnected from your Father. You veered off the road. You are detached from Him. That's what your emotions are for. I don't give a damn what the therapist has told you. You are a spiritual being. Worldly intelligence does not apply to you. Spiritual intelligence applies to you. When you're trying to apply worldly knowledge to a spiritual being, you're going to end up in the wrong place every single time. So what does God do? He'll put certain people in your life that have the spiritual intelligence that you need to help you become unlocked and become unleashed. That's how you got here. So God gave us an assignment. What was the assignment? To create heaven on earth here. It's out of order. This entire planet is out of alignment with what He is. That's why we're here. That's your first, that's your second purpose. But we can't get to the second purpose until you get to the first one. If you walking around not being your most authentic self, you walking around wearing the mask, you walking around pretending, you walking around, you afraid, you're terrified to lose people, you think happiness comes from outside of you, you think you need somebody to come and love you, you think you need people to clap for you, you wait for somebody to validate you, you need people to believe in you, you are still trapped in your ego personality. period. What's up, Ellie? So good to see you, beloved. Do me a favor again, real quick, you guys. Share the live to your stories. Share the live to your stories. Share the live to your stories real quick. Let me tell you something that bothers my spirit. Ain't a lot that bothers my spirit. It takes a lot to bother my spirit. Let me tell you what bothers my spirit. I got to speak for my father now. Let me tell you what bothers my spirit. If you think about a painting, I need you to picture that in your mind. Picture the most beautiful painting you have ever seen. What makes that painting beautiful is that all of the colors come together to make the painting what it is. That painting needs the green and the browns and the reds, the whites, the blacks. The painting needs it all. The painting understands that in order for that beauty to come out, it needs all of the colors contributing all at the same time. Now freeze that thought. That painting is a perfect metaphor for our life, for life here on this planet. Every single color, every single race has contributed to make this world what it is. There is no one particular color that has done more than someone else. So you need the browns and the whites and the blacks and the yellows and the fill in the blanks, because they all contribute to make this world what it is, like the painting. But somehow, some way, we've allowed people to trick us, to disconnect us from our divinity, to have the colors fighting against each other, to where the beauty of the painting has become ruined now. Every single race of people here on this planet has contributed somehow, some way. I'm not who I am today just because of Black people. Not at all. I could make the argument that people from different walks of life, different ethnicities, have contributed just as much, if not more, as people that look like me. Where the fuck is the leadership in this country? That's what every single person that we call a leader should be pushing. There should be museums all over this planet that only showcase what each race of individuals, what each ethnicity group has contributed to this planet. There should be museums that showcase how Native Americans have contributed. There should be museums that just showcase how Black people have contributed. There should be museums that showcase how white people have contributed and how Asians have contributed, so that you can go and really be able to appreciate that culture and understand how they benefited your life specifically. And it should be a requirement for little kids to have to go to these museums to learn, so that they don't grow up and become reflections of what we are today. This is a disgrace. I'm speaking for my father now. I don't give a damn about what you think. It's embarrassing. that we walk around and we only see each other through the color of our skin. And we categorize people through the color of our skin. We label people, we judge people, we create stories based upon the color of our skin. What color is spirit? Because that's who that person really is. What color is their soul? Because that's who they really are. And the same soul and the same spirit that occupies that person is the same soul and the same spirit that occupies you. How blind are we? How embarrassing as it is that in 2026, we ain't got no leadership nowhere in this world. We are masters at destroying things. We are masters of violence. We are masters of manipulation. We are masters at separation. There's no unity anywhere. There's no leadership anywhere. It's embarrassing. And we all claim to love God. I don't know what type of love that is. It's embarrassing to sit here in 2026 with a straight face and all we have more violence in the world than there is love. But we come from love. Make that make sense. There's more violence, separation, and chaos in this world than there is love on display. I said display. But we come from love. That doesn't make sense to me. And it shouldn't make sense to you. And you should not follow anyone that perpetuates separation, that perpetuates division, that perpetuates violence, that perpetuates destruction. Where's your spiritual intelligence? Where's your self-awareness? Where's your loyalty and your devotion to God specifically? Damn some man. We follow people when we don't know who we are. That's the problem. You want to get to the real problem? That's why we follow other people. We follow other people when we don't know who we are. The only person I follow, the only entity, deity, being, king, Lord that I follow is God. I will never follow another man. He did not create you to follow other people. He created you to follow him. You get lost following other people because they can't take you anywhere because only God knows where you're going. And that's the problem. We chasing relationships, we chasing people, we chasing love, we chasing status, and we chase careers. You chase all the things because you want somebody to put you on some pedestal so they can say you made it. Made it where? You ain't taking none of that shit with you. Everything you chasing right now gonna be here when you go. So what you do? You collected some stuff so that you can impress a bunch of people that only talk about you behind your back. It ain't going nowhere. I don't give a damn how many houses you buy. I don't care how many outfits you buy. I don't care how many Chanel bags you rock. It's going to be here at some boutique being sold for $5 or $10. That car that you got that you so impressed by going to be sitting in some scrapyard one day. And you're going to be sitting with God and he's going to ask you, what did you do with the life I gave you? How many people did you impact? How many people did you influence that don't look like you? That don't carry your blood? That doesn't carry the same DNA as you? Whose life did you impact besides your own? You got to wake up. But these people that tricked you out of your divinity. You know, God gave us a compass. He gave us a compass. And that compass is love. It's the only thing that we were ever supposed to follow, because if you follow it, it never leads you to the wrong place. He gave us a compass. That compass is called love. And if you follow it, it'll never steer you wrong. You follow your attachments, they're going to steer you wrong. You follow your clinging, they're going to steer you wrong. You side to that desire, it's going to steer you wrong. When you follow love, it'll never steer you wrong. Where love is, there's no pain. Where pain is, there's no love. Where love is, there's no disrespect. Where disrespect is, there's no love. Where fear is, there's no love. Where love is, there's no fear. He gave you a compass. All you got to do is follow it. And the only thing that you should be focused on before you join some group, before you join some organization, before you join some movement, it should be one question in your mind. Is love here, yes or no? The moment that a person starts explaining and it takes them too long to explain, it's time for you to leave. Because love doesn't need an explanation, it needs evidence. The truth doesn't need an explanation, it needs evidence. It can only be experienced. I don't want to hear about it. Don't start telling me anything about it. The moment you start talking, I'm going to get nervous. I follow love. I don't follow anything else. If love is there, you're going to see me. Love is my only religion. Period. Do me a favor, if you haven't already done so. Peace and love to you. Peace and love to you as well. Peace and love to you as well. Do me a favor and share the live to your stories real quick if you haven't already done so. Let's get to this live. Do me a favor and share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so, please. You have to love yourself more than the love you fear losing. You have to love yourself more than the love you fear losing. You have to love yourself more than the love you fear losing from someone else. Because the moment you fear losing someone else's love more than you fear losing yourself, you've already lost the game. It's game over. You lost the Super Bowl already. Alana, what's up, beloved? Danelle, what's up, beloved? So good to see you both. Happy Friday to you both. Happy Friday to you both. That part right there, D, that's law. That has to be law, right? That has to be law. You know, you have to love yourself more. I said more. I said more than your fear of losing someone else's love, than your fear of losing access to this person. Because the moment that that happens, it's game over. You bowed out of the game. I fear losing me more than I fear losing you. Because I can never get me back once I lose me. Once I lose me, and not only that, when I lose me, I don't even know what I'm giving you anymore. I'm giving you a shell of myself. I'm not giving you the most authentic version of me. I'm giving you some watered down version of me. So we both losing. You're not getting the real me and I'm not getting the real me. So we both losing now. I fear losing me more than I fear losing access to you. And when you carry that energy in your relationships, it's what protects the relationship. And that other person should feel the same. The only thing I'm afraid of losing is God's love. I'm not afraid of losing anyone else's, because the love that I thought they were giving me was actually only coming from me. Now, I thought that I was getting it from them. I'll give you that. But it was only coming from me. So what was I ever afraid of losing? See, the real problem is not what's happening in the world. The real problem is the fact that you don't know how you work. You don't know how you function. You haven't mastered yourself as of yet. That's the problem, because that creates all problems. When you don't know who you are, that creates all of your problems. That's like you driving down the street in a car and you haven't ever driven in your life. You ain't never been in a car in the history of your life. You ain't never seen a car. You ain't never been in a car. This is your first time ever driving a car. When you get in that car, especially if it's a powerful car, you're going to run into things. You're going to veer off the road. You're going to hit the brakes too hard. Sometimes you're going to hit the gas when you meant to hit the brake. You're going to hit the brake when you meant to hit the gas. There's going to be all kind of mistakes being made. You're going to create so many problems. Why? Because you don't know. You haven't learned how to drive yet. And that's how people are moving through the world. Yeah, you in the car, but you don't know how it works. But when you learn the car, when somebody teaches you properly, when you understand how it works, the car becomes an extension of you. That's all I'm saying. You got people, and then we running around. The very person that just learned how to drive the car, still trying to figure out how to drive the car, you rushing to add this person to your life. That's why the relationship crashed. You got people that are untrained in your life. They have no training. I don't give a damn how educated they are on worldly knowledge. They have no spiritual intelligence. So they're not going far. Worldly knowledge and spiritual intelligence are two completely different things. The same way a map of LA and a map of Chicago are two completely different things. They both maps, but they're two completely different things. The LA map won't do you any good in Chicago, and the Chicago map won't do you any good in LA. Your PhD will do your spiritual being no good. Your spiritual being, I don't give a damn about that. Tell me nothing about the physics. All right, let's get busy getting busy. We got a lot of work to do. We got some mountains to climb. We got some mountains to climb. We got some mountains to climb. That part right there, Tara, that part right there, beloved. Yeah, you're going to get your PhD in something, get it in self-awareness. I promise when you get the PhD in self-awareness, you're going to learn I might not want the other worldly PhD. Once I get the PhD and understanding me, I may not even want the other one. When you outgrow the old version of you, you also outgrow everyone holding on to that version of you as well. This is so important. When you outgrow the old version of you, you also outgrow everyone who was holding on to the old version of you. You outgrow them as well. Growth is choosing to walk in who God says you are. Bottom line. Not what the world says you should be. Even when it's uncomfortable. And in fact, double down when it's uncomfortable. That's when you do it the most. That's when you do it the most. The problem is too many of us are emotionally attached to the outdated versions of ourselves. I said the problem is too many of us are emotionally attached to the outdated versions of ourselves. We identify with the very struggles we were supposed to outgrow. We wear labels God never gave us. Tell me what label he gave you. I understand all the ones that the world told you to hold on to, but tell me which one he gave you specifically. All that suffering is coming from all these labels that you've attached to yourself. Because there's an identity that comes with the label. And anytime that somebody attacks the label, you feel attacked as well. That's the problem. Labels might be one of the most dangerous things that you can ever attach to yourself. Because when you lack emotional intelligence and somebody attacks the label, you back the label with your emotions. So the moment that somebody says, oh, teacher, and you label yourself teacher, right? And somebody says, oh, teachers are the worst things in the world. You feel attacked. That's their perspective. They have nothing to do with you. That's their opinion. Has nothing to do with you. But because you carry the label, you feel attacked. So now you feel you got to defend teachers, but you don't. You just need to know who you are. You ain't got to defend nothing. But when you lack emotional intelligence, you feel like you do, but you carry many labels. You might call yourself a Republican or a Democrat. Okay, wonderful. That's what you do. But the moment that somebody comes against that, you feel attacked. So you're not in control of yourself. The label is. Because as you're moving through the world, you're going to come in contact with people that are going to bump up against that label, meaning they're going to have a different opinion about that label than you do. You might say you're a Christian. You might run into a Muslim. The Muslim says, well, my way is the way. You say, well, no, my way is the way. Both of you guys are blind. It's hell, not just blind. Because the only way is God. The only way is love. Love is the only way. Doesn't matter what bridge you cross to get there. Love is the only way. So if you guys would come together and stop seeing each other through the label keeps you blind. And the label keeps you seeing that person as they really are. You can only see them through the filter of the label. Come on, beloved, you got to step your game up when you're talking to me. The label has you blind as hell right now. You think you can see, you can't. We see with our minds. You don't see with your eyes. You see with your mind. And your mind will keep you from seeing that person because they carry a different label than you. You call yourself a Christian? They call themselves a Muslim. Who's right or who's wrong? Nobody's right or wrong. It's not about right or wrong. Where's the love? I said, where's the love? If we can both get to that place, we win. But if all we can do is see each other through our differences, we lose. And that's why our country is the way it is right now. Because the only thing we are seeing is how we differ, not how we are connected. What's up, Elaine? So good to see you, beloved. So good to see you, beloved. But we smart as hell. But we smart as hell, though. That's what we claim. That's what we claim. We smart as hell. That's what we claim. That's what we claim. You can find any person you walk up, oh, I'm so smart. You ain't smart if you don't see. Seeing is what makes you smart. Spiritual intelligence is what makes you smart. You can have a PhD and be blind as hell. That's not what makes you smart. What makes you smart is understanding I'm looking at someone through a filter that obscures who they really are. Let me set that down. I'm looking at someone through my programming and conditioning, and that obscures who they are. Let me set that down. I'm looking at someone through my ego personality, and it's trying to keep me disconnected from seeing who they really are. That's why let me set this shit down so I can see. I'm spirit. I'm not supposed to be blind to anything. I'm supposed to see the world through God's eyes, not man. I didn't come here to be impacted by man. I came here because of God's impact on me. That's why I'm here. Where are you getting your vision from? Your vision coming from man, your vision coming from God. It's only one or the other. There ain't the two. There ain't two ways to see. You either see it through the world of your programming, you either see the world through the eyes of your programming and conditioning, or you're seeing the world through the eyes of God. It's only two ways to see. And if you see the world through the eyes of your programming and conditioning, that means that you're seeing the world through the eyes of man. So you don't see. What's up, beloved? I'm just giving you spiritual truth here. I'm not trying to get you to change your life, and I'm not trying to get you to change the way you see the world. I'm just introducing you to a level of truth that most people are allergic to. See, we defend patterns that destroy our potential. That's the problem. There is nothing in your past worth obsessing over. Nothing. Because your past only consists of people, places, and things that you have already outgrown. One more time. I said there is nothing in your past worth you obsessing over. Because your past only consists of people, places, and things that you have already outgrown, that you have already experienced, that you have already walked through. Man, let that go. Shut the door on yesterday. Shut the door on what was. Shut the door on who you used to be and step into what's new. This moment is what's new. Let me tell you how powerful you are. Let me tell you how powerful you are. The present moment doesn't have the power to hold your reflection. That's how powerful you are. Let me say that one more time. The present moment does not even have the power to hold your reflection. What the present moment holds is everything you have experienced leading up to this moment. What the present moment holds is every choice you have made and every decision you have made leading up to this moment. And the reason why God created you this way is so that you can always be one step ahead of the moment. So that if you're looking at this moment, you're really looking at a reflection of every decision that you made leading up to this moment. So God gave you time to shift. He gave you time to pivot. He gave you time to move in a different direction if you don't like the direction that you are currently heading right now. But when you are looking at the present moment, it doesn't reflect who you are. It reflects who you were. Look at it and you'll see it. So all you got to do is look at it and you'll see it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. It's the most beautiful thing in the history of beautiful things. God was a beast when he did that. That's the most beautiful thing in the history of beautiful things. The present moment, you're so powerful, the present moment can't hold your reflection. Now, the next moment can hold the reflection of who you are right now in this moment. But you're always one step ahead of the moment, beloved. You're never in the moment. You're always one step ahead of it. The moment is showing you, okay, this is all of the choices you made leading up to here. So you're going to look at your life and you're going to say, well, I don't like where I am right now. That's what the moment is reflecting. It's not reflecting who you are in this moment. It's reflecting who you were leading up to this moment. Now, if I don't like where my life is at right now, now I can pivot. Now I can shift. Now I can add a personal trainer to my life. If I'm not healthy, I can add a life coach to my life. If I'm not where I want to be mentally, I can add a therapist to my life. If that's something that I need, I can add a pastor to my life. I can start adding things to my life and I can start making decisions, but I don't need to be upset about anything. The pastor's like, what are you mad at me for? I'm just showing you all of the choices, and I'm just the culmination of every single choice and decision that you've made leading up to this moment. There's nothing to be upset about. There's nothing to be upset about. You can put yourself in park right now and say, I don't like where my life is going. And God's going to say, okay, let's change some things. Ain't nothing to be upset about. Ain't nothing to be depressed about. What you upset for? You stayed in some situations longer than you needed to. Okay, let's not do that again. You tolerated some things that you shouldn't have tolerated. Okay, let's not do that again. You showed up small in some situations that you shouldn't have shown up small in. Let's not do that again. That's what the moment is reflecting to you. Let's not do that again. Let's not make that mistake again. Let's eliminate the procrastination. Let's eliminate the self-doubt. Let's eliminate the worry. Let's eliminate all these low vibrational people. Let's eliminate all these sometimey ass people out of your life. Let's start eliminating things. Addition is subtraction. You add more value to your life by subtracting the things that no longer add value to you. You don't need to go add more things. You need to subtract the things that no longer serve you, that no longer work for you, that can only reflect who you were. Subtraction is addition. We've been programmed and conditioned to just add things. No, subtract first. Then you add. But once you start subtracting, you're going to see, I don't really need to add anything. Some of you guys are carrying some things that you should not be carrying right now. That might be a person. That might be some previous experience. That may be some event that you won't let go of. You're carrying things that you were never designed to carry. You can only be a wolf by hanging out with other wolves. You can only be a lion by hanging out with other lions. Some of you guys are wolves, but you're hanging out with sheep. Some of you guys are lions, but you're hanging out with the gazelles. And convergence is real. You will become a reflection of who you surround yourself with most. So you might be a lion, but you ain't gonna ever be that lion when you're hanging out with the gazelles all day. I'm just being real. I hang out with lions all day long. Or I'll be by myself. I don't hang out with lukewarm people. I don't hang out with people that don't know where they're going. I don't hang out with people that are not motivated. I don't hang out with people that are not inspired. Doesn't mean that I think I'm better than them. But I don't hang out with people that are poor. Let me tell you what that means. Because instantly your ego convinced you that you thought I'm talking about money. When I say I don't hang out with people that are poor, I'm not talking about money. I don't hang out with people that have a poor self-concept of themselves. I don't hang out with people that have a poor mindset. I don't hang out with people that have a poor attitude towards life. I don't hang out with people that bring some low vibrational experience to my life. I don't hang out with things that are poor. How you gonna become rich if you surround yourself with people that are poor in the mindset? I ain't talking about money. So that's what you think I'm talking about. Get that out of your mind. That part right there, you poor in spirit. Your self-concept is low. You don't believe in yourself, but you also don't want to grow at the same time. You don't love yourself. You don't show up for yourself. You don't keep your word. All of that's poor. That part right there, constantly poor in character. So I don't know. I don't hang out with people that's poor. I'll hang out with a homeless person all day. He might have the best attitude in the world. So it ain't got nothing to do with money. If he confident, he love himself, he might have felt on hard times, but that don't have nothing to do with why I would or wouldn't hang out with him. So it's not about money. All right, let's get busy. People decide how to treat you before the conversation ever starts. A lot of people don't know that. People decide how to treat you before the conversation ever starts. Not because of what you say, but because of how you show up. If you enter a space rushing, explaining yourself, feeling the silence with all of this meaningless conversation like we oftentimes do, the tone is already set. And when you set that tone, it will never be in your favor. So the tone gets set by you. When you are calm, confident, and intentional, people will adjust. People will adjust to you without you saying a word. This isn't about dominance or acting cold, because presence isn't loud. Confidence is. Over explaining is what happens when you doubt your own authority. I said, over explaining is what happens when you doubt your own authority. You keep adding reasons, backstories, and justifications because you're hoping that someone will finally agree with you. And that's the biggest problem you have. The moment that you feel you need to explain yourself, you hand your power to the other person. Instantly. The moment you feel you need to explain yourself, you lose all power. People don't respect long explanations. They question them. I said people don't respect long explanations. They question them. The moment you start doing all this explaining, I'll get nervous. Because you're trying too hard to convince me of something. That's how people look at it. When you start over explaining, it's like, what are you trying to convince me of? You trying too hard. Newsflash, promises are easy. I think a promise might be the worst thing that a person can make to you. And we live by promises. Oh, I promise. I promise to never do this, and I promise that. And I promise. I put that on my life. Promises might be the weakest thing that a person can give you, but somehow, some way, we've been programmed to condition. We hang everything on somebody's promise. Let me break it down for you. Let me give you a different way to look at it. Next time somebody say the word promise, this conversation is going to get triggered in your mind. Promises are easy. Anyone can say the right things when it benefits them. Come on, you got to turn your awareness up. Anyone can say the right things when it benefits them in that moment. What actually matters is what keeps happening when no one else is watching. That's what matters. Repeated behaviors tells you the truth every single time. That's what you want. I don't want your problem. I don't want your promise. I need to watch the behavior that you're making all these promises about. If someone keeps disappointing you but always has a good excuse, that's not bad luck. That's a pattern you're pretending not to see. Why? Because you're hanging on to the promise. High value people look at actions, frequency, and follow through. Let me say that one more time. High value people, if you consider yourself to be one, look at actions, frequency, and follow through. That's all they score in you on. If the pattern doesn't match the promise, then the promise doesn't mean anything. I said, if the pattern doesn't match the promise, then the promise means nothing. Believe what repeats, not what is said. Let me say that one more time. Believe what repeats, not what is said. Damn what's said. Pay attention to what repeats. You ain't gonna never get lost. You'll never get manipulated. You never get played. Believe what repeats, not what is said. The promise means nothing if the pattern doesn't match. It don't mean nothing. The moment that a person, oh, I promise, you should get nervous. Because it benefits him in that moment. That's why they're making the promise. They're making the promise in that moment because it benefits them. And that promise buys them some time and rocks you to sleep. So you focus on the promise, but then we ignore the patterns. All right, let's start the live. We getting ready to start the live. I said we getting ready to start the live. I said, we getting ready to start the live right now. All medicine from here on out. Right now. We're going to the bottom of the ocean right now. I don't know if you can swim, but you might want to call a lifeguard if you can. Do me a favor real quick, share the live to your stories. If you haven't already done so, please share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. What's up, Lala? Rich say you getting them trunks. Yeah, Rich, grab me a pair. Grab me a pair, Rich. Give me a pair out that old chest over there in the corner somewhere. Yeah, we get ready to go all the way to the bottom. I'm telling you now, it's killer whales and everything down there. So don't go down there playing. Do not pet the dolphins. They are not friendly as deep as we going down. They cute, but they ain't friendly. Different kind of dolphins where we going. What's up, Posh? So good to see you, beloved. You guys ready? What's up, Michelle? So good to see you, beloved. So good to see you. Again, do me a favor real quick. You guys share the live before we take off. We getting ready to jump in the submarine. We ain't got the $2 worth of gas, so we're going to make it. Okay, here we go. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Monica, what's up, beloved? I didn't even see you. All right, here we go. Boom. You guys know, yeah, we got killer dolphins down there and everything. Valley said, "Coach, we got killer dolphins now." Yeah, they down. They bite up everything. Let me say this real quick. You guys know, this whole week, this whole week has really been about discipline, right? The discipline is the wave. Like, it's the future for our community, Mindset Masters, for our community. It's everything. It's everything. It's everything, right? It's everything. It's everything. It's everything. Let me qualify that. Sometimes we lack self-awareness to such a degree that we don't realize that the thing we talk about is actually an extension of something else, which is the whole non-duality, right? The whole duality, principle or mindset is how our minds have to see things in twos. That's the only way that your mind can function. It has to see everything in two. It can't just see the tree. It has to see the tree and the fruit, even though the fruit is an extension of the tree. They're one and the same. But because your mind doesn't allow you to see that, it has to see everything in two. When it looks at the flower, it sees the flower and it sees the stem. But the stem and the flower are the same thing. The flower is just an extension of this. It's all the same, right? It's all the same. When it looks out at the ocean, it sees the ocean and it sees the wave. But the wave and the ocean are the same thing. The wave is just an extension of the ocean. It's the ocean in a different expression, in a different form. But it's just one thing. There's not two things happening. There's only one thing happening. So freeze that thought. So that's how your mind works. So it sees the future and the past, or it'll see the present moment and the future, or the present moment and the past. It always has to see things in twos. That's what's hurting you. You have to transcend mind. It's created two versions of you. It's created the version of you that you call me. And then there's the spiritual being in you, which is who you really are. The me is only a collection or the culmination of your thoughts, beliefs, self-concepts, experiences, past traumas, past breakups, the pain you've experienced, right? The culmination of all of that is what you call your me. So when you say they lied to me, they hurt me, they disrespected me, they fill in the blank, they cheated on me, they betrayed me, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about a thought that has been transformed into a character. Your persona, the masks you wear, your reputation, all of that's a part of your me. But there's not two things going on. There's only one thing. The other thing It's only an expression of the one thing, like the ocean, like the tree, like the flower. There's really only one thing. But to your mind, there's two different versions of you. There's your me, and then there's the spiritual being in you. The spiritual being in you is who you really are. The me is only who you think you are. Where's your suffering coming from? Your me. Where's the depression coming from? Your me. Where's the anxiety coming from? Your me. Who's the one that holds your sadness? Your me. Who's the one that holds your rage? Your me. Who's the one that holds your fear? Your me. Nothing else. Just your me. Who's the one that needs to heal? Your me. Who's broken? Your me. Who needs to be fixed? Your me. Who has you chasing awareness? Your me. Who has you chasing your divinity? Your me. And it has you chasing your tail like a dog. That's why your ego has to go. It's convinced you that you're broken. It's convinced you that you need to be fixed. It's convinced you that something is wrong. Why? Because it would always keep you on the hunt, on the search. But the one that's doing the searching is the very thing you are looking for. The eyes that see are the same thing as that is seen. You are awareness looking for itself. You are consciousness looking for itself. And your ego has you convinced that you don't have it, that you need to discover it, that you need to become something else, that you need to heal. But if you stop right now, just give me 5 seconds. Go inside for a quick second. Can you find the one that holds your pain? Can you find the one that needs to heal? I need you to go inside right now and you'll see it. Who in you needs to heal? Who in you is broken? Who in you holds your childhood trauma? Go inside right now and find that version of you. There is no inner child. There's not a tiny little child walking around inside of you. These are thoughts that you have backed with belief. They're only real because you believe them. Your past is only real because you believe it. Your future is only real because you believe it. Your pain is only real because you believe it. Your fears are only real because you believe them. What you don't understand is that you are so powerful that whatever you believe in, you create, even if that thing you believe in is false. The character is real because you believe it. Anytime you believe in something, you bring life to the thing that you believe in. The past is not real. The future is not real. Only this moment is. But because you place belief there, they become real. And that's where your suffering is, beloved. You're trying to heal yourself from something that doesn't exist. And if the past isn't real and it's not, and if the future isn't real and it's not, that can only mean that the story you tell yourself about the past or the future isn't real either. You're trying to heal a ghost. That's the equivalent of you trying to heal your own shadow. You're saying, Coach, we're outside. It's a beautiful summer day. You're saying, Coach, my shadow is sad. Coach, my shadow is depressed. Coach, my shadow is unhappy. The character in you is like your shadow. The one that holds the pain is your shadow. The one that holds the childhood trauma is your shadow, not the source of the shadow. The source of the shadow is unconditional love. You've been trying to heal the shadow this entire time. The shadow doesn't need to be healed. You need to wake up to the one that is the source of the shadow, and then the shadow disappears. All right, let's get busy. Let's get busy. Let's get busy. Let's get busy. Sophie, I see you. I see you. What's up, Kelly? So good to see you, beloved. Do me a favor, real quick, you guys, before we go deep dive, and do me a favor, share the live to your stories. Real quick, if you can, share the live to your stories. Share the live to your stories. Leticia, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Thank you guys for the gifts and future gifts, right? I'm going to thank you in advance because once I start diving into this, Kels, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Once I start diving into this piece, we're going to be here for a minute. Discipline is it. Discipline is it. Sandy, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Discipline is it. That's it. That's it. That has to be your new favorite word. Barack, what's up, beloved? So good to see you, Brock. That has to be your new favorite word. You can't enter your next season wearing yesterday's mindset. We're going to start right there. You can't enter your next season wearing yesterday's mindset. You can't keep asking God for you can't keep asking God for next level blessings with first level habits. I said you can't keep asking God for next level blessings when you got first level habits, first level routines, first level mindset. God is not going to help you build some Instagram worthy life so that you can impress a bunch of people that don't matter. It's not his purpose in your life. They ain't trying to help you become Instagram famous. He wants you to build a disciplined life. Your purpose impresses others. Your discipline impresses him. One more time. Your purpose impresses others. Your discipline impresses him. He's not impressed by your purpose because he gave you the gift. He's not moved by that. He's moved by your level of discipline because he knows when you're disciplined, then the purpose, your gift is going to make it to the world. Some of you guys are walking around, you still got the gift locked inside. Why is the gift still locked inside? Because you don't have the discipline to unlock the gift. Anybody in your way? A lack of discipline is what's in your way, not people. Bottom line. And going back to my other point, see, we oftentimes, let me tell you what happens. You'll have something as powerful as love. Somebody says, oh, love is not enough. That's BS. Don't listen to people. Anytime somebody tell you that, take off running. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. How is the most powerful force in the universe not enough for your relationship and not enough for something else? So what do people do? Watch this right here. So what do people do? They say things like, well, you need respect. That's a byproduct of love. Well, you need communication. That's a byproduct of love. Well, you need kindness. That's a byproduct of love. Well, you need empathy. Well, that's a byproduct of love. Well, you need understanding. That's a byproduct of love. You need vulnerability. That's a byproduct of love. Stop explaining the ocean to me. You sit here telling me about the waves. All of those things come from the ocean, meaning that if love is not in that person, you won't get the kindness, you won't get the empathy, you won't get the compassion, you won't get the vulnerability, you won't get the respect, you won't get the understanding. You got to wake up. You're dancing with a great white right now. One of the fastest moving predators in the ocean right now. You dancing with them. And the same thing applies to discipline. See, when we're talking about discipline, you think discipline is one thing. No, discipline is many things. Dedication. See, if discipline was the ocean, commitment would be its wave. If discipline is the ocean, discipline would be its wave. If discipline was the ocean, right, consistency would be its wave. Discipline shows up in many different forms. So you got to have commitment. You got to have dedication, right? You got to have determination, right? You got to have persistence, right? You got to be relentless. All of those things are only waves in the ocean that is discipline. Like love. Love is many things. It's not one thing. So when a person says, well, love is not enough, it's because they don't know what love is. When a person says, oh, well, I just need to be more dedicated, or I just need to be more, you're still talking about discipline. You're still talking about the ocean. You just don't realize you're talking about a different expression of it. That's what I'm trying to wake you guys up to. If I love you, I'm going to communicate with you. If I love you, I'm going to be honest and transparent with you. If I love you, I'm going to be vulnerable with you. You understand what I'm saying? When I love you, I'm going to be all of these things. I'm going to be empathetic, and I'm going to be compassionate, and I'm going to be understanding, and I'm going to be generous, and I'm going to be kind. Why? Because they are all just different expressions of the same thing. So when a person tells you love is not enough, it's because they have no idea what love is. That's why the only reason why they would tell you that, because they had no doubt. You need to take off walking the moment they tell you that. They're just describing love in a different form. That's all they're doing. You instantly let me know you don't know what you're talking about. Instantly. That part right there, when you need to take off running, because you're talking to somebody that have no idea what they're talking about. You're going to tell me the most powerful force in the history of this universe is not enough for your little relationship. Your relationship is this big in contrast to all that is. Discipline means showing up when it's boring. Discipline means showing up when it's painful. Discipline means showing up when no one claps for you. Discipline means when you would rather sleep, scroll, or just give up in that moment. All of that's discipline. Discipline doesn't just get you to your next level, it prepares you to stay there. So discipline won't just get you to the next level, discipline prepares you to stay there. All of the people that have fallen from grace, all of these different athletes and celebrities and politicians and different things, what were they missing? Discipline. Yeah, they had the discipline to get there, but they didn't have the discipline to stay. That's what I want to prepare you guys for, so that you're in a position that when you do get there, you stay there as well. People People praying for God to elevate them while still holding on to the insecurities and fears that define who they used to be. Let me say that one more time because some of you guys are struggling with that. I said people are praying for God to elevate them while still holding on to the insecurities and fears that define who you used to be. They want promotion without preparation. But here's the truth. God does not call us to comfort. He calls us to transformation. He's not calling you to be more comfortable. He's asking you to let you know it's time to transform into who he created you to be so that you're no longer a reflection of what the world created you to be. And transformation will always require us to shed something. Nothing can be gained without losing something first. Nothing, beloved. I said nothing can be gained without losing something first. If you want to rise, something has to fall. Yesterday's version of you has to fall. All of your excuses has to fall. Your procrastination has to fall. Your comfort zone has to fall. Who you think you are has to fall. How can you rise when you are carrying the weight of your fears and your perfectly crafted excuses? How you gonna rise like that? If you're waiting for that one person to transform your life, just know that the person that you're waiting for is the most disciplined version of you. That's who you're waiting for. You ain't waiting for some man with six-pack to add to the six-pack figure. You're not waiting on some woman that's got some banging body. What you're waiting for is the most disciplined version of you. You should be on the hunt for that person, not somebody to come and tell you how amazing you are, not for somebody to tell you you're pretty, not for somebody to come and tell you how handsome you are. Be on the hunt for the most disciplined version of yourself. Build that version of you now. And that version of you doesn't cost you money. You ain't got to spend a dime. Because elevation, let me say it this way. Elevation without preparation leads to destruction. Elevation without preparation leads to destruction. Some of us we just want the elevation. We don't want the preparation. We don't want the discipline that we need. We don't, no, just take me to the top. You're going to fall right off the side of the mountain because you're not built to be there. God will not bless you with a life that you don't have the discipline to manage. That's why so many of the blessings that you guys are praying for, that's why they haven't materialized yet. You're not the version of yourself capable of being disciplined enough to manage what you're asking for. Some of you guys are struggling with the life you got right now. He's looking at your life like you can't manage what you already have. You stressed out and depressed and unhappy and ungrateful and all. You can't manage what you already have. How you gonna manage this 5-star life if you're struggling with the 2-star life, with the 3-star life, with the 4-star life? He blesses you at the level of your discipline, not the level of your enthusiasm, not the level of your desires. He's not focusing on the strength of your prayers. He's focused on the strength of your discipline. Because if he gives you more than you can handle, he may cripple you for life. One more time. Elevation without preparation leads to destruction. You cannot pray your way into a destiny that you don't have the discipline to manage. One more time. You cannot pray your way into a destiny that you don't have the discipline to manage. So it ain't got nothing to do with your prayers. You don't have to pray that hard. That's nothing to do with your prayers. He's paying attention to the strength of your discipline, not to the strength of your prayers, not to the strength of your enthusiasm. See, we used to think it was belief that would get you there. I just need to believe in me. Nah, boop, boop, boop. No, it's discipline. Because when you discipline, you automatically gonna believe in yourself. When you're disciplined, you're automatically gonna respect yourself. When you're disciplined, you're already gonna love yourself. When you're disciplined, you're automatically gonna walk away from things that have already walked away from you. When you're disciplined, you're gonna already remove yourself from toxic environments. When you're disciplined, you're gonna already move yourself from people that don't deserve to have access to you. Oh no, he's saying be disciplined. Stop chasing all of these other things that are just a byproduct of discipline and just become disciplined. When you are disciplined, you would never allow a person to give you less than you deserve. When you are disciplined, you would never allow a person to verbally abuse you. When you are disciplined, you would never be afraid to be alone. When you are disciplined, you would always walk away from some job or some person or some situation that was less than what you felt you deserved. That's what he's saying to you. My beloved, become disciplined in every single area of your life, starting right now. Be disciplined when it comes to your mind. Be disciplined when it comes to what you pour into it. Be disciplined when it comes to your body. Be disciplined when it comes to what you pour into it. Be disciplined when it comes to yourself. Be disciplined when it comes to how you love yourself. Be disciplined when it comes to your boundaries. Be disciplined when it comes to your standards. Be disciplined when it comes to what you accept or tolerate from other people. Be disciplined. And now I know you're ready. Yes, your purpose does impress other people, but your discipline impresses me. I'm telling you, we got it all wrong. Oh, just believe in yourself. False. Because when I'm disciplined, the belief is automatic. Oh, just love yourself. False. Because when I'm disciplined, the love is automatic. Oh, just have faith in yourself. False. Because when I'm disciplined, the faith is going to be there. See, once you bring the discipline, all that other stuff is just a byproduct of the discipline. It's like love. You're going to automatically get the respect when I'm loving myself. You're going to automatically get the kindness when I love myself. You're going to automatically get the communication when I love myself. You're going to get everything when I love you. And you're going to get everything when I love me. So I don't need to be more of the wave. I need to be more of the ocean. We too busy trying to be more of the wave. Now you got it wrong. I need to be more of the ocean, not more of the wave. I don't need to believe in myself. I need to be more disciplined. I don't need to show up more for myself. I need to be more disciplined. When I just focus on being more disciplined, everything else comes with it. Discipline is like a bundle. It comes with many things. If you just chase belief, you're going to get one thing. If you're just chasing self-respect, you're going to get one thing. If you're just chasing more self-confidence, you're going to get one thing. You're just chasing more courage, you're going to get one thing. No. False. Get out of it. Focus on just being more disciplined in every area of your life, and then everything comes with that. It's a bundle. It's a whole bundle. And here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to buy anything. You don't need to read a book on it. You don't need to talk to anyone. You don't need a coach. You don't need a therapist. You don't need anything. Growth is the byproduct of discipline. When I discipline, I grow automatically. Because I'm always going to do what needs to be done, even when I don't feel like doing it. In the moment that I don't feel like doing this, I'm doubling down. That's when you know. That's when God is testing you the most. When you know you're supposed to go to that gym, and the moment that you say, oh, I don't really feel like it, I'll just go to get your behind off that couch, get out that bed, and go. Because in that moment, you're making a deposit into your discipline tank. The moment that you know you're supposed to go read, you're supposed to study, oh, I'm tired, I'll just do it. Get up and do it. because you are making a deposit in that disciplined bank account that that's gonna pay dividends later on. Oh, I know I'm supposed to pack my lunch for work, but I don't feel like doing it. I'll just buy something at McDonald's. Get up and do it. And this is how you are reprogramming your mind. Whatever it is you are supposed to do, get up and do it right there. Because if you don't, you're making a deposit into who you used to be. The moment you know you're supposed to do something and you don't get up and go do it instantly, you are making a deposit into who you used to be. Whatever you say you're going to do it. Or don't say it. Because your mind is always listening, and that's an imprint. And that imprint will come back and tax you later. You charge in the future version of yourself for decisions that the current version of you is making. The moment I tell myself, damn, I don't really feel like going to the gym, it's getting late, I'm going. Right then and there. Because that's where God has tested me the most. Because if you only do things when you feel like doing them, you ain't gonna never be powerful. Think about what I'm saying. That's the problem now. You too busy doing things when you feel like doing it. You too busy negotiating with your feelings, beloved. You can't let your feelings hold the steering wheel of who you are. I don't really feel like it. I'm tired, and I'll do it next time, tomorrow. No, you living your life like you got 1,000 years to live it. God is like, you're not ready for the gift. You ain't ready. You're not ready. You're not ready. Because you doing things only when you feel like doing it. So your life is going to reflect that. Your life right now is a reflection of the things that you do when you feel like doing it. That person that has the life that you looking at that you want, they do the things when they don't feel like doing it. That's the difference between you and them. You do things when you feel like doing it. They do things when they don't feel like doing it. That's the difference. That's what separates you guys. That's the only thing that separates you in that person that has that life that you can't wait to get. They move when they don't feel like it. You move only when you feel like it. That's the difference between the two. I'm telling you, it's the difference between the two. See, you have to stop romanticizing the grind and start honoring the process. That's the key. You have to stop romanticizing the grind and start honoring the process. You have to stop idolizing comfort and start worshiping obedience. See, the old version of you avoided pressure. The new version of you sees pressure as preparation. The old version of you waited for motivation. The new version of you is powered by discipline. So the question isn't, do you want more? That's not the question. The question isn't, do you want more? The real question is, are you willing to train for it? That's what God wants to know. Are you willing to train for it? The life you want doesn't go to the passionate. It goes to the prepared. And preparation requires discipline. God is ready to release what you've been asking for. The only thing left for you to do is become the kind of person that can handle it. That's what he's saying. Become the person that can handle what you're asking for. Which means that it's time to outgrow your excuses. Let me say this to you. Excuses are the language of your limitations. A lot of people don't know that. I said excuses are the language of your limitations. Excuses are permission slips that you write to yourself to stay the same. Let that hit your whole spirit. I said excuses are just permission slips that you write to yourself to stay the same. Every time you make one, you're choosing loyalty to the version of you that God is trying to grow you out of. I said, every time you make an excuse, you are remaining loyal to the version of you that God is trying to grow you out of. He's like, damn, I can't bless you because you're too busy being loyal to who you used to be. Excuses sound logical. That's the worst thing. They sound good. They feel safe. They even will win you sympathy from time to time. But they are the language of your limitations, beloved. Excuses are a chain link that keep you bound to yesterday while you cry out for a better tomorrow. Just sit with that for a second. I said excuses are a chain link that keep you bound to yesterday while you crying out for a better tomorrow. So you crying out for a better tomorrow, but you making excuses along the way. You can't evolve and excuse your way to the next level at the same time. How are we going to do that? How are we going to evolve and excuse your way to the next level at the same time? We ain't going nowhere. At some point, you have to confront the fact that your greatest barrier isn't some external enemy. We got to get to that place. Your greatest enemy is the excuses that you've accepted about yourself. I said your greatest enemy are the excuses that you've accepted about yourself. The person that God is calling you to become has no room for excuses. You're not just invited to your new purpose, you're being invited to responsibility. That's what He's inviting you to. Think about how responsible God has to be. Just really think, just sit, take yourself out of it real quick. Because you won't see it as long as you involved. Look at how responsible He has to be. Just look at that. You got galaxies and the universe, all this stuff going on that He has to be responsible for. He's just saying, man, I'm just asking you to be responsible for your life. That's it. I'm gonna bless you with everything, but I can't bless you with things that you're not ready to manage. Because you're gonna hurt yourself. So He's inviting you to carry more responsibility. And responsibility means rejecting your excuses and choosing growth instead. Every excuse you make is a down payment on you remaining who you are. Uh-oh. Damn. We getting ready to go to the bottom of the ocean right now. I know we close. We damn near at the bottom. But what I'm getting ready to say next, let me just give you a warning real quick. Everything should come with a warning label in life. Let me say something to you. What I'm getting ready to say next, it's getting ready to test how much you trust him. What I'm getting ready to say next is going to put pressure on how much you really believe. You ain't gonna be able to pretend. We getting ready to enter a zone of this ocean where you will not be able to pretend. It's gonna be so in your face, there won't be any room to pretend. You won't be able to say, yeah, I do. See, we think excuses are the problem. They're actually not the problem at all. And I don't care how many you've told leading up to this moment. Excuses are not the problem at all. The real issue is whether or not you believe that God is bigger than what you are afraid of. I said the real issue is whether or not you believe that God is bigger than whatever it is that you're afraid of. Do you believe that he is bigger than your pain? If the answer is yes, let it go. Do you believe that he is going to create a future for you that you can love and enjoy? If the answer is yes, let it go. Do you believe that he is bigger than everything you're afraid of? If the answer is yes, let it go. Do you believe that he is the creator of everything? If the answer is yes, let the yesterday go. Do you believe that he can speak through you? If the answer is yes, let it go. Do you believe that he lives in you? If the answer is yes, let it go. I'm bringing you right to the front door. Right to the front door. We ain't got time to do all that playing. He's bigger than your pain. Let that go. That's a thought. Your pain is trapped in a thought. He's bigger than your past. Let that go. Your past is trapped in a thought. He's bigger than the future. Let that go. Whatever you think the future is only a projection of your current circumstances. Let that go. You have to know and understand with unwavering faith, unwavering trust, unwavering belief that he not only lives in you, he's all around you. The future doesn't come to you, it comes from you. That's how powerful you are. The future lives in you. Every choice and decision you make manifests the future. Your past lives in you. The future lives in you. This moment lives in you. Everything lives in you because you are an extension of the divine. So we ain't got time for worry. We don't have time for doubt. We don't have time for limiting beliefs. We don't have time for fear. All of those things are the byproduct of your programming and conditioning. All of those things are the byproduct of the arrangement of your mind. And your mind is arranged based on the pain you've experienced, based on all of your past traumas, based on the failed relationships, based on the people that have walked out of your life, based on the people that you think you've lost. That's the arrangement of your mind. That's why no two people see reality the same, because we all see it based upon how our mind is arranged. And your mind is arranged based upon how you've seen things moving up to this moment. So when you look out at the world, you don't see it as it is. You see it as you are, because you see it through your wounds. You see it through your triggers. You see it through your fears. You see it through your doubts and your limitations and all of your past experiences in your story. That's how you see the world. But that's false. You're looking through the window of reality, but the windows are wet. So your vision is obscured. You don't see clearly. We see through our opinions. We see through our assumptions. We see through the labels. We see through the judgments. We see people based upon the color, backgrounds, and ethnicities, and culture, and all of these man-made things. The person that God is calling you to be has no room for excuses, has no room for fear, has no room for doubt, has no room for anxiety, has no room for depression. All of these things were given to you so that you would know when you were out of alignment with Him, so that you would know when you were out of alignment with truth, so that you would know when you're out of alignment with reality. That's why they come. Nothing is coming to punish you. Everything is coming to warn you, to let you know, hey, you're veering off the road here. Hey, you're believing in something that's not accurate. Hey, you're hanging on to something that no longer adds value to you. That's why you have your emotions, not so that you can make decisions with them, not so that you can see the world through them, so that you would understand anytime that you are out of alignment with your Father. That's it. Everything is a warning light. Everything is some check engine light in you. Everything is helping you so that you can stay in alignment with Him. And when you're out of alignment with Him, here comes depression. When you're out of alignment with Him, here comes anxiety. When you're out of alignment with Him, here comes fear, because all of those things are indicators that you're not using your mind properly, that you've lost sight of who you are, or that you haven't discovered who you are, or that you're out of alignment with your purpose. When you're in alignment with your purpose, there's no pain. When you're in alignment with Him, there's no pain. But when you're out of alignment with Him, there's pain. But the pain is not coming to punish you. The pain is coming to wake you up. The pain is coming to move you away from the very thing that caused the pain to begin with. That's why it's there. Something there is causing it. But what do? We think we can change people. And so instead of you moving yourself away from the thing that's causing you the pain, you try to change the thing. Let's go to the therapist. Let's go to the relationship counselor. Let's go to the pastor. Let's go to this person over here. But what you have to understand is this: if love is present, there's nowhere to go. The pain comes because love's not there. That therapist can't talk that person back into loving you again. The $1 billion question is, what made them fall out of love with you to begin with? That's what's important. They're trying to jumpstart the love. What made them fall out of love to begin with? What made you need to even go to the therapist to begin with? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that? You're trying to fix something that's not broken. That relationship hit an expiration date. Their expiration date is up. That's like trying to get old moldy bread to come back and be fresh again. The bread is over. Its time is gone. It's time to go and get something fresh. It's hit its expiration date. Whatever that person came to do in your life, it was done. And everything and every person that's coming in and out of your life has an expiration date. Your job is to enjoy the person while you have access to them. That might be for 5 minutes, 5 months, 5 years, 50 years. We don't know. And the fact that you don't know is the number one thing that should make you place maximum value on the person while you actually have access to them. Not living your life like you got 1,000 years to live it, not moving around the person and not maximizing the value. And then the moment that the person is taken away from you, you spiral out of control. But God is looking at you like you didn't appreciate it while you had it. We only appreciate things when they're gone, not when we have access to them. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the number one problem. We appreciate what's gone, not what's here. We oftentimes neglect what's here. But the moment what's here is now gone, all of a sudden, the value increases. Value skyrockets. That's the problem. Discipline means that I value what's in front of me while it's in front of me. That's why I have it. I don't need 2 of them. I don't need 10. I don't need 20, because if I don't value the one, 2 ain't going to be any different. 5 won't be any different if you don't value the one. Got all these people running around here in all these different relationships. You don't take care of the one person, how you going to take care of 3? Everything comes back to discipline. You can become the most powerful person on the face of this earth through discipline alone. Because 9 out of 10 people that you come in contact with, it's the one thing they don't have. They may have the education. They may have the accolades, degrees, certifications, all of that. The one thing they're missing is that discipline. Discipline is what separates good from great, great from exceptional, exceptional from phenomenal. Discipline. I'm telling you, you want to change your life? Become the most disciplined version of you. That's how you do it. Period. Become the most disciplined in all 4 quadrants of your life. Become the most disciplined version of you. And your entire life will change. I didn't say anything about lukewarm. I didn't say be hot in this area, be cool over here, and be warm over there. Be disciplined in every area of your life. And here's the thing. I'm going to tell you this. See, I tell you guys, nothing is more powerful than a mind made up. Nothing is more powerful than an unwavering decision. So the moment that you make this decision, the moment you make the decision that you're going to become the most disciplined version of you, let me tell you what God is going to do. In that moment, he sees you as new. You're going to look the same externally, but in that moment, he sees you as new. In that moment. Because you're vibrating from a different frequency now. You're carrying a different energy now. Everything is different. Again, externally, you look the same. Discipline is the highest form of self-love. So to that person that said, "Oh, that's not easy," what you just said to me is that you don't really love yourself. That's what you said. See, we got to be careful when we say things. You got to be careful when you say things, because every time you say something, you reveal something about yourself. So the moment you said it's not easy, what you really said is, I don't love myself enough to do it. That's what you really said. Because there's no such thing as hard or easy. Hard or easy comes from the meaning that you attach to the situation. You can't find hard out in the world. You can't find easy out in the world. What you call hard, someone else may call easy, and what you call easy, someone else may call hard. So all that's coming from your mind, which means that your mind is the enemy right now. That's what you just told me. The moment you said it was hard, what you really said is that my mind is the enemy. I'm not in control of it. It's in control of me, because it told you to say, oh, it's hard. And your ego told you to say it's hard, because your ego knows that if you become disciplined, it'll no longer be in control. That's the problem. That was your ego speaking for you, not your intelligence. That's the last thing your ego wants you to do, is become disciplined. That's the last thing it wants you to do. I keep telling you guys, discipline is spiritual intelligence. Discipline is divine intelligence. They just never told us that. And it makes all the sense in the world. Why would they? So one more time, your excuses are not the problem. Not at all. What's up, May? So good to see you, beloved. Yeah, your excuses are not the problem. Not at all. The real issue is whether or not you believe that God is bigger than what you're afraid of. We need to get there. That's the real issue. Do you believe that God is bigger than whatever it is you're afraid of? So your ego is the culmination of many things, right? It's the culmination of your programming and conditioning. It's the representative for your pain. It's the representative for your childhood trauma. It's the representative of all of the different versions of yourself where somebody has hurt you, lied to you, betrayed you, abused you, maybe touched you inappropriately, all of these things. How does the ego come into play? Your ego comes into play when your authenticity gets fractured. Something happened to you as a child. And when that thing happened to you as a child, you felt an emotion for the very first time that you had never felt. You didn't know what to do with that particular emotion. It was too powerful. You didn't know what to do with it. Oftentimes when we get hurt as a child, two things happen. We either leverage that pain and become something great, or we become the person that projects pain onto other people. It's only two things gonna happen. Especially if somebody does something to you inappropriately, like they touch you inappropriately. Two things are gonna happen. You're either gonna get ready to become a reflection of that experience, which most people do, but you're gonna take that experience and it's gonna transform you into this high-performing person, right? Because your pain becomes the fuel. It's like rocket fuel for you. But there's only two things that are gonna happen. But going back to the ego. So the ego normally comes into play around the ages of 4 to 7 years old. Right? For some people, it's later. For some people, it's earlier. But the point not to be missed is this. Your authenticity got fractured when someone did something to you that you couldn't explain and that no one could give you an answer for. And maybe when that thing happened to you, you didn't even tell anyone, right? You didn't tell a parent or grandparent. You just suppressed that. And so the ego comes through the fractures or the cracks of what hurt you the most. And originally, when the ego stepped on the scene, it was trying to protect you from experiencing any further pain. That's why you would react instead of respond in situations. That's where all the fear is coming from, and the doubt is coming from, and the limiting beliefs are coming from, and all of these other things. That's why you want the validation. That's why you need people to believe in you. That's why you need people to cheer for you and to clap for you. That's why you don't like constructive criticism. All of that is because the ego doesn't want you to experience any more pain. But your ego got stronger as you got stronger. And your ego was never supposed to hold the steering wheel to who you are for that long. And one more time, anything that you back with belief manifests. And so you started identifying as the ego. You may have even said at some point in time, I got a big ego. You may have even said that, right? So that's how the ego comes onto the scene. And once it comes onto the scene, it's responsible for your assumptions. It's responsible for all of your prejudices. It's responsible for the labels that you project on the people. It's responsible for your judgments. It's responsible when you project pain onto people. It's responsible for the moments when you disrespect people. It's responsible for all of that. Your ego is the one that makes the decisions for you. That's why the spiritual awakening is so important. That's why self-mastery is so important, because the moment you understand that, the ego has to be dismantled. It keeps you separate from everyone else. It keeps you disconnected from everyone else. It has to go. The enemy in your life is your ego, nothing else. You don't have any external enemies. Yes, I do, coach. No, you don't. Let me qualify that. Every person that you call an enemy is only someone wearing the face of a version of yourself that was out of alignment with God. You created some version of yourself that was out of alignment with God. And that version of yourself, something having to do with your personality, your persona, some version of yourself that you were selling to the world, and someone came into your life wearing the face of that particular version of you. That's what you call an outer enemy. Somebody wearing the face of something that, some version of yourself that you had no business creating, whether that was the stripper, whether that was the dope boy, whether that was the jack boy, whether that was the manipulator, whether that was the playboy, whether that was the con artist, whether that was the fill in the blank. Somebody rejected that version of you and you called them an enemy. That's what happens. So your outer enemies are people that wear the face of all of your inner enemies. Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it. I'm telling you, if you look back over your life, you'll see it. The only reason why the drug dealer has enemies is because he or she has created a version of themselves that's out of alignment with their divinity. The only reason why the gang member has enemies is because that version of themselves, that version of that gang member, they created a version of themselves where there's fear and there's the separation and there's all of these things. And people walk into their lives wearing the face. And I'm not judging anyone. If that's what you do for a living, that's what you do for a living. I'm just telling you, this is how all of these outer enemies come, because you create versions of yourself that are out of alignment with your divinity, period. All right, let's get this. If you just look at it, you'll see it. When you are a reflection of love, you don't create enemies. When you are a reflection of something that you create, that man told you to create or whatever, you create enemies. But love, you don't create. The reason why you would never have an enemy when you become unconditional love is because love has no opposite. There would be nothing to reflect. You would only impact. There's nothing to reflect. If I'm the gang member, I can be reflected. If I'm the drug dealer, I can be reflected. If I am the robber, I can be reflected. If I am the stripper, I can be reflected. All of those things carry a reflection. Love has no opposite, so there's nothing to reflect. I can only impact the environment, but the environment can't hold my reflection. The reflection is too powerful. You can't reflect the unconditional love. Does that make sense? All right, let's get busy. That part right there. But that's what we were created to do. And I don't, somehow, some way we got out of alignment with that, but that's what we were created to do. Yeah. Different conversation for a different day. Different conversation for a different day. Let me say this to you guys, because a lot of people feel like, I don't know, coach, I'm not enough, or, I'm not smart enough, or I don't know if I can do it, or are you sure it's me, or, how can I be the one? We look at ourselves through these filters. The problem is that all of those filters are the byproduct of your programming and conditioning. All of those filters come from versions of yourself that you were, right? So you can't look at yourself using yesterday's eyes and expect to see a clear picture, right? And let me say it to you like this. God has already factored in all of your weaknesses. Whatever you think your weaknesses are, all of that has already been factored in. So what you are being called to right now, he's already factored in all of your weaknesses. He's already factored in your pain. He's already factored in all of the versions of yourself that you've been leading up to this moment. So you don't need to sit here and wonder if you are enough. He's already, if you're here right now, he's already saying that you're enough. If you're on your spiritual awakening journey, he's already signed off on it. Trust me, there's 8 billion people on the face of this earth, and 99.9% of them have no idea what self-awareness is, what self-mastery. They have no idea. Because they may never get it, number one, or it's not a part of their calling. The fact that you are here, he's already saying you're enough. I've already factored in your weaknesses. I already factored in the pain. I've already factored all the stuff that you've done in the dark that nobody knows about but me. I've already factored all of that in. So you don't need to do any more thinking. This is where you just start trusting. This is where you just start believing. This is where you start to just insert the discipline and stay locked in and stay focused. You don't need to work. Everything you know about yourself, he knows 10 times more. He already knows where you've been and he knows where you're going. You don't know where you're going, but he knows where you've been and he knows where you're going. So he's factored everything in. So all that thinking you're doing, you only create more of a problem is what I'm trying to get you to understand. You're creating problems where there are none. That's what your thinking does. Right? The God who called you already factored in your weaknesses. The God who called you already accounted for whatever your limitations may be. The God who called you fully understands who you are leading up to this moment. He already gets it. Here's the truth. Your excuses are not your identity. It's a test. And every time you choose to move forward anyway, even with the fear, even with the trembling, you silence the voice of your limitations. That's the whole point. Man, you got to silence the voice of your limitations. You can't keep making deposits into the limitations bucket because that's what your excuses are doing. So what have your excuses been lately? See, that's what's important. What have your excuses been lately? What lie have you made a lifestyle? We don't even realize that we turn our lies into lifestyles. What fear have you disguised as wisdom? What opportunity have you delayed with the sentence that starts with, I can't? It's hard. It's not easy. It's all lies we tell ourselves. See, your excuses serve the old version of you, the version of you that was just surviving during that time. I appreciate the gifts, beloved. I appreciate that, love. See, when discipline becomes a lifestyle, growth becomes inevitable. You don't pray for growth when you are disciplined. Growth becomes a harvest that you can't even stop. You don't have to pay for growth. When you are disciplined, growth is a byproduct of discipline. It's automatic. The greatest threat to your destiny is not some devil in the sky somewhere. Let me say this real quick. The devil is not responsible for why we procrastinate. The devil is not responsible for why we stay in toxic relationships. The devil is not responsible for why we show up small. The devil is not responsible for why you don't have a growth mindset. The devil is not responsible for why you accept or tolerate things that you shouldn't. The devil is not responsible for why you doubt yourself. The devil is not responsible for why you lack self-confidence. We got to stop blaming the devil for things that we do to ourselves. We got to stop doing that. All of those things that I just highlighted are 9 times out of 10 why you're not the most powerful version of yourself. The devil is not responsible for why you lack self-discipline, why you don't show up for yourself, why you don't turn every should into a must. The devil is not responsible for why you don't follow through. He's not responsible for why you didn't start that business plan like you said you would, or you didn't start that online business like you said you would, or you didn't go back to school like you said you would, or you didn't leave that job like you said you would. We got to stop blaming him for stuff. And we're going to be fair. Let's be fair. You got to go blame somebody. You got to blame the person that's staring back at you in the mirror each morning. That's what we got to overcome. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not the devil that's creating the problems in your life. It's your ego that's creating the problems in your life. Because your ego is the one that has you detached from love. Your ego is the one that robs you from happiness. Your ego is the one that robs you of your peace. Your ego is the one that robs you of their joy. Your ego is the one that tells you we'll do it tomorrow. Your ego is the one that has you fumbling people. It's your ego that's doing all of that. Projecting your pain onto people, judging people, labeling people, making assumptions about people that you don't even know, living out of your past, living out of the future, creating all that stress and anxiety and depression. That's your ego doing all of that. The devil is looking at you like, I don't need to bother you. You're doing a good job of hurting yourself. The devil's like, what do I need to bother you for? You're doing a perfectly good job of hurting yourself. Perfectly good job. You doing more than you and I ever would have. So you don't need me. What's up, Pauline? It's so good to see you, beloved. I'm just being real. I'm just being real. The devil's like, I mess with people that's winning in life. I mess with people that's on the verge of changing the world. I don't chase people that stay in relationships past the expiration date. I don't bother people that spiral into depression. I don't bother people that create their own anxiety. I don't bother people that lives are riddled with fear. Because you're doing a good job of hurting yourself. I don't need to get involved. I don't need to get involved. You already doing it to yourself. I'm trying to get that one person that's getting ready to change the world. I'm trying to focus on that person. I'm rocking with people. I'm going after people that are already on the top. And that's what we don't understand. We got to overcome the ego. That's the devil in you that you got to overcome. Because that version of you creates more pain than anything external. Too much truth. I'm just being real. I'm telling you. That part right there, Cash. Yeah, it has to. What's up? It has to start. It has to. Let me give it to you from a universal truth. What's up, Lena? So good to see you, beloved. Let me give you a universal truth perspective. I'm just give you some universal truth real quick. Universal truth real quick. Let's go way back, because if we don't go back, you won't see it. So let's go way back. Before people understood anything about self-awareness, self-mastery, emotional intelligence, people didn't know how to describe what was going on. There was all this pain in the world. There was all this evil in the world. But it wasn't happening because of some devil. See, what you got to understand is that in self-awareness, the devil is, you got higher mind, which represents God, which represents heaven. And then you've got lower mind, higher mind, lower mind. Well, what's lower mind? Your ego, your pain, right? The story, your childhood traumas, all of the negative things that have happened in your life. All of that's lower mind. Higher mind is unconditional love. Higher mind is compassion. Higher mind is empathy. Higher mind is self-awareness. Higher mind is your divinity. So that's the whole thing. But nobody knew how to describe lower mind. So they created a character out of lower mind. And they created a character out of lower mind to give you something to focus on. They called that character the devil. It would give you something to focus on. But here's the thing. They didn't give you something to focus on so that you could become unlocked. They gave you something external to focus on so that you could remain locked. Because as long as you thought that there was something outside of you that was causing pain and causing suffering and causing all of these things in you, you would never look within. That was the whole point. They never wanted you to look inside. Because if you started to look inside, you may discover who you really are. But if you sit with your spiritual mind, you'll see it. Look at our world today. The devil is not responsible for all of these acts of genocide. The devil is not responsible for all this homelessness we got going on. The devil is not responsible for what's happening in religion and in politics. The devil is not responsible for why we are all separated. The devil is not responsible for what happened with slavery. The devil is not responsible for why children are being put into being trafficked all over the world. Come on now. You ain't never in the history of your life heard of the devil killing 1 million people at one time. Never in the history of your life. But you heard of a man that's done it. Never in your life. Now come on, listen. We ain't gonna do nothing else. We gonna live in the truth on this platform. We ain't got time to be playing. You ain't never in the history of your life, as long as you've been walking on the face of this earth, heard of 1 million people being taken out at one time because of the devil. Never. But you heard about it when it comes to man. Whether it was what went on in Germany with them and the Jews, whether it was what went on with slavery, whether it was what went on in Rwanda, whether it was what went on in Iraq and Afghanistan and all these different countries, you heard of it there. But you ain't never in your life sat down with your grandparents or your ancestors or your mom or somebody that you genuinely love and care about, somebody's opinion that you trust. And they told you the devil showed up, took 1 million people. Like, you ain't never heard that story. And the reason why you ain't gonna ever hear it is because the devil is lower mind. The devil is that version of that person that got hurt as a child and no one had justification. Listen to what I'm saying. Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. This little boy, he was having a good life. And maybe he wasn't wealthy at the time, but he had his mom, he had his dad, he had his entire family. And a group of men came through and they took out his mom and they took out his dad and they hurt all of his siblings. And he didn't know what to do with that. And that little boy was then put into I'm telling you a true story. And that little boy was then put into some foster care system where he never got the love. He never got the understanding. Nobody ever told him why his family were taken out like that. And he was angry. And that little boy grew up to be a grown man. And guess what he did? He came into power. And when he came into power, he took that anger, he took that frustration, he took that rage, he found out who was responsible, and he projected hell on earth. He didn't want to hear stories We're not taking any prisoners. We letting everybody's getting it. What hurts the little boy controls the grown man. What hurt the little boy shapes the grown man. So the moment that that little boy was injured and he had to watch his family, take yourself, put yourself in his shoes for just a moment. You sitting at home playing with your toys. Yeah, you guys might not be rich, but you're sitting at home playing with your toys and with your siblings. These men come busted in the door. Boom, they take your mom out. Boom, they take your dad out. I'm talking about no remorse, no compassion, no nothing. You traumatized. Put yourself there. His rage shaped him. His pain shaped him. His lack of understanding as to why God would allow that to happen to me. So he wasn't moving with God. He didn't want to hear nothing about no God. Because he couldn't understand, why would God allow that to happen to me? And anytime that someone can't get justification and a clear understanding as to why God would allow that to happen to them specifically, are you in trouble? You are in trouble. So they detach from God. They're disconnected from him. They have no belief in him because they never got the understanding that they needed. And then those same men come into power. And what they say is, nobody was there for me. Nobody saved me. Nobody rescued me. Nobody thought about me. Nobody cared enough to save my family. So I don't want to hear about your pain. And boom. That's how it happens. That's how it happens. When people don't get justification for why things happened to their families, loved ones, kids, it hardens you, right? It turns your heart black. You don't have understanding. You can't be consoled. Nobody can talk to you. And you go inside, right? In all that's samskar. What is samskar? Samskar is bottled up negative energy that you have never released. And it becomes samskar. And that samskar will start to manifest. They become dark, they become cold, and they become leaders. They become leaders. What hurt the little boy has shaped the grown man. When you understand what happened to the little boy, you will immediately understand why the grown man became the grown man and why he or she moves the way they move. But if you don't know what happened to the little boy, you just think, oh, they're evil. No, something happened. That's the first thing I see from an awareness perspective. I'm not focused on what they're doing. I'm not focused on their actions. I'm not focused on their behavior. I'm not focused on what they're doing in that moment. What I'm paying closer attention to is what happened to the little boy. Because whatever happened to him, it would make sense. I can understand why I'm seeing the outcome that I'm seeing in this moment. But if you only look at what's happening with the man and you don't understand what happened to the little boy, then you're not seeing. You're just as blind as everyone else, right? Which is why we don't rush to judge. And I'm going to tell you something else. It's going to blow your mind. God. God's not judging them. And he's not judging them because he understands that they're asleep. He understands that they're operating from their pain. He understands that. I didn't say it matters if you understand it. It's not about whether or not you understand it. He understands it. And when you become self-aware, you will understand it. But whatever it is you judge, you can never understand. That's universal truth. You know why that's important? Let me tell you why that's important. Because it's humanly impossible for us to hurt other people. The person is source energy, right? The person is divine energy. So you can't hurt the other person. Can we do things to the vessel? Can we do things to the vehicle? Absolutely. But you can never hurt the person. But when you see things only from a lack of self-awareness, that in your mind you're thinking, oh, the person got hurt. You can't hurt the person. No person, you included, you cannot hurt people. We don't have the capacity to hurt people. We don't have two things we can't do. We can't see people as they are, and we can't hurt anyone. You can do things to people's physical body all day long, but you can never hurt the person. So all of these people that you see doing things in the world, they're actually not hurting the person, because you can't hurt the person because the person is source energy. Can't hurt that person. Stuff you can do. Energy can never be created or destroyed. You cannot hurt the person. So in your mind, you're thinking, oh my God. But God is not looking at it the way you're seeing it. I can assure you of that. You know, and that's why self-awareness is so important, because I don't look at it from that perspective. What those things give you an opportunity and the ability to do is to elevate your level of awareness, to elevate your level of consciousness, to understand these things are all supposed to be things that help you to become unlocked. Everything you see that's evil in the world is the very thing that should make you want to become unlocked. Different conversation for a different day. Yeah, nobody can touch you. You can't be touched. The same way you can't be seen is the same way you can't be touched. How can I hurt you if I can't even see you? All right, boom. Set my mic down on that. Again, happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday to you all. Happy Friday, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you all. Juliet, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Boom.